this other auntie, she's always talking about her son went to Western, and then I went to Ryerson, and every time I saw her, she'd be like, Ryerson, that's a university or polytechnical college, because it used to be it used to be called a Polytechnical Institute, but by the time I went, it was full university. 2 years before I went. Now it's not even Ryerson, because the guy's some colonizer guy. Ryerson, apparently. I don't know. They took the statue down and everything. It's a whole other story. 2 years before I started, it's Ryerson University. This auntie, every time I see her, it's like, Ryerson, that's a university or a polytechnical college? That's a polytechnical, huh? Every time, but says it so sweet. Says it so innocent. Like I'm, like in a way that you can't be like, okay, what, like I told you last time. We spent 10 minutes on this last time. Just cool it. Every time I see her, Ryerson, that's not a university. And by the way, Western is it's like a party university. Nobody's talking about their kid. Like this Punjabi auntie thinks like, my son will go to Western. It's a party university. What? I don't know. I've never heard anyone say Western. Oh, now you're a good doctor? I've never heard it. I've never heard it in my life. So that's even weird too. Anyway, whatever. Years later, he's on CNN for something. And I put up literally a YouTube video. Just a YouTube video. There's barely any hits on it. And she starts talking shit about her son's on CNN. And then my mom goes, my son on YouTube. My son on YouTube. And it just killed it because then they got into it. Then they're like, no, MSNBC is like a real news thing. And I was like, no, YouTube is owned by Google and Google is biggest. So that's it. She felt like shit after that. Why? Because she made the game. She made this comparison game. That's what your ego is doing all the time. You don't notice when you do it, but it's really silly when other people do it. I mean, that is such a silly game. And they don't even know any of the rules. Don't talk shit if you went to Western. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. She doesn't even know that like YouTube, anyone can put up a YouTube video. She doesn't know. So she just thinks like, okay, well, you got me. You win. And that was the end of that. And she never talked shit again. Anyway, these games, these egoic games, they're driving us crazy. They basically make you go nutso inside because what they do is they make these games. Like you got to see these aunties, man. This is stressful for them. They might as well be on Wall Street. That's how competitive they are with their kids. And half the kids aren't going to do shit. They're just going to set themselves up to go crazy later. Just don't talk shit and everyone's happy, right? But this is what the Buddha calls dependent origination. You talk shit, you make judgments, your brain, it's beep, 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 and it makes a little game for you. It makes a little suffering. And the mechanism of it is like this. You make a judgment. It's like this, it's like manifestation. This is what they're talking about. You make a judgment and now you're you got a whole team, and they're called Mara's army too. These are the armies of Mara, the 5 hindrances, because you make a judgment or you do one of them, you make like a little judgment, you do a thing, and then the army, the love blockers. And these love blockers are there. They're actually not letting you see what the real world is. The real world in this moment is actually perfect. It's actually perfect, infinite loving kindness right here, right now. But little love blockers. They're blocking it out. You're not even seeing the whole world. You're just seeing like a little image of it based on these things that you've created. So you've created some stuff. And the thing, it's complicated because they do help you survive too. A lot of them are installed from trauma. So they help you survive. They have like some resumes. You know what I mean? Like when you go in there and talk to the guy, the general of that army, he's going to say, hey man, I'm doing this for you. He's going to say, I'm working for you, man. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to be like, yes, I'm evil. It's not like that. They think they're doing you a favor. They think they're helping you avoid some childhood suffering. That's the system. That's the system. And just to go through this is a system of spiritual growth that is also how movies are written too. Because movies, Dan Harmon says that basically every story is a delivery mechanism for a life lesson. And that the way that life lesson is learned is you basically go through a journey. You identify with the lead character of the film or whatever, and you go through a journey. And basically, the journey is supposed to take you to a place here where you can surrender some part of your identity. This is what learning is. On some level, the old you must die. Why? So you can be resurrected one step closer to God. And that's what we wanted to go for today. That's where we're going. That's why I said just get on the goddamn bus, people. Let's move it.